I bring you back today at the Sutton United game. As I said, had a few things going on off camera. Okay form, not too bad, but of course, as we said, the concerning thing is that superstar young left back is potentially wanted by other clubs. He could be poached from us in January, so we need to think about what we're going to do with that, and I may have the solution to that coming up in today's episode. So as I mentioned, as you can see, the form has not been terrible, it's not been great. We lost 1-0 to Aldershot Town, beat Gateshead 3-1, drew 1-1 to Forest Green, and then we lost 2-1 to Chelmsford, unfortunately. And today I bring you back to the Sutton United game. In terms of what that's done to the league table, we're currently sitting 7th. So again, we'll take that. We're on 15 points. Luckily for us, we've already got a fairly decent gap between us and the relegation spots. Macclesfield as well, who obviously went up as champions. And I think, to be honest, I'm happy with where we're at. We bring you back to the Sutton United game. They are sitting in 4th. As I mentioned, obviously our first choice left back, he is under a little bit of interest here now. Bolton and Dundee United, both of which they're saying they're unwilling to make an offer until the transfer window. I'm hoping they make us a proper offer rather than we just get in compensation, right? Because of course he's not trained at the club for that long. He's only just come through the youth intake at the tail end of last season, which of course isn't going to mean, if I'm right, we're going to get that much money from it. And I feel if he's going to go, I want some decent money from him. I want to be able to bring in another 2 or 3 players from that money that we're going to get. He's happy to stay as far as I'm concerned. He's not mentioned anything to me with regards to the interest. If he does go though, my plan will be to potentially bring this guy in. We've got him in on trial at the moment, Declan Skahara. He's a 4-star current ability, 5-star potential, let's call it. He is actually going to come in as the best centre-back in the team. He is better than Darnell Johnson. I mean, I don't believe that. And better than Chris Francis. So then what I would probably do is move Chris Francis out onto the left because he can play left back. And of course, that does mean if he goes, we have coverage. The risk being, we do that and then he doesn't go, either Chris Francis or the new guy are potentially going to get unhappy. So we might have to see what type of contract he wants before we sort of agree to do that or not. So pretty much unchanged starting 11 from what you saw in the last game of the last episode. We've got James Wright in goal, Jacob Pingington, Darnell Johnson, Chris Francis and Nicola Kiparili in the defence, Manny Alike and Tate Campbell in the centre, defensive midfield roles, Damari Mella, Zach McEachran and Ashton Boswell in attack, and leading the line is Min QG. So I think we're just going to say it's important for us to make the most of our home form. Again, we know the MG Group Stadium has been a fortress for us. We want to keep it that way. It has been. We haven't actually lost at home. So we're going to try and obviously encourage the boys to go out there and take that momentum and really push forward on it. If we can beat Sutton United today, we're sort of making our stamp on the National League, right? We've beat some of the better or bigger teams, let's say, and we drew with Forest Green as well, and they're dibbed as one of the promotion favourites, and we managed to draw with them. Robbie Savage is actually the manager of Forest Green, a fun little fact there. I think he is in real life, actually, to be fair as well. But yeah, so we come up against his team and managed to draw 1-1. I think realistically picking up a point at home to Sutton United isn't a bad result, but of course if we can capitalise on that home form and get all 3 points, that would be absolutely fantastic. We're currently sitting 9th based on the live league table. As long as we're not going to get sucked into a relegation scrap, I'll be happy with that. I don't want a relegation scrap on our hands. I just want a comfortable mid-table season at the lowest. Okay, obviously if we can sneak into the playoffs, we'll do that, right? Our plan all along last season wasn't necessarily to go up or even win the playoffs, but we did do that because of the grit and the determinations within the squad and what we instilled into them. And again, if we can do it this season, then great. We're coming up against teams that we're not doing bad. We're not getting overrun. We're not getting outplayed. We're doing very well in terms of the tactics and in terms of the statistics. So I can't fault the team, and them sort of players that we've added, them few little sprinkles of quality have gone really well for us, if I'm honest. So I'm just going to say, you weren't that bad. Keep going. I believe in you. I have faith in you to do what we need you to do in this game. But a pretty boring half. I don't actually think we saw one highlight through the whole first 45 minutes, which is not always great for you guys watching, but I suppose you've heard me ramble on. So we've got Campbell here into Pennington. Pennington back to Campbell. Pennington's going to drop it in. Oh, Boswell can't get his head on though. Killer Ferreri loses the ball. I mean, if a Bolton or a Dundee United scouts here and they see that, maybe that's good for us. They won't poach him. I would love to keep him if we can. And Mella goes on a bit of a solo run and takes a shot, but Sims had it red, unfortunately for us. At least we're starting to see some highlights, right? It's all us. We are all over them at the moment, so can't complain. But of course, we're not making that decisive change at the top where we're making obviously the goal and going 1-0 up. We have conceded a corner, which could go one of two ways. And that is... It was kind of red by Wright. I mean, it hit the post. And then obviously got cleared by the defenders. We can't complain, but in the same breath, maybe we should be doing a little bit better from that delivery and just dealing with the danger without it becoming a bit of a scramble. Sutton United are playing quite a defensive formation, really, aren't they? Out of possession. Look at that. Flat back 7. And they're meant to be favourites. We're meant to be the underdogs. That's what we should be playing, but we're going out. You know, we're not scared of these teams. We want to set a precedent for the league. We want to show them that we're here and we're here to stay. We're here to mess up the top of the table. Killaferrari into Boswell. Campbell. Keatron. And a lot. See? Hopefully the scouts are seeing that. Yeah, you don't want him anymore, right? He can just stay with us because he's deliberately having a bad game because you're here to watch him. Great save by Wright. Great save. Added pressure on here for us, though. So we need to be getting rid of this ball. Relieve the sort of pressure. Let us get out a little bit further. We're going to bring Clark on. He's going to come on his favoured right side. Clark and Birney, they've not had as much of an impact as they did last season. But, of course, we have got some more, dare I say, superstar players that have come into the squad into them positions. So, I mean, it's to be expected. We're going to take the young left back off as well, just to give him a bit of a rest because he's starting to get a little bit knackered. He's been playing pretty much every minute of every game for us. Piddington's another one who's been, well, he has been amazing. I mean, that highlight that we saw there where he couldn't even get the ball out of his feet wasn't great. But take Campbell as well. Both of them players, they've been very influential in terms of how we've been playing so far this season. 93 minutes here. Can we get rid of it? Let's not score let's not concede in the 93rd minute. It'll be absolutely heartbreaking. We're going to see the corner again. We didn't deal with the corner well last time. Luckily, Alike's there like an absolute brick wall and stops the delivery coming in, but we will see the follow-on highlight. Kate Campbell tries to get G away. Unfortunately, G's just not reading it enough. Oh, Wright's come out. I think he's offside. I think I saw the assistant ref. Yes, I did. I thought I saw that in the corner of my eye. I mean, Wright didn't cover himself in glory then, but it's probably one of the only mistakes that he's made, if I'm honest. And it didn't cost us, right? It was offside, so we'll take it. 92 minutes played. Is it going to be a 0-0 draw? It is. Again, I'm not disappointed in that. I'm just going to say to the players, if we look at the numbers, we should have won. So despite the result, trust the process and we'll be successful. Keep it up. And that is pretty much right. We are very much playing to the tactic, and we've not really, even though we've added a few of those players, it's not got rid of the fundamentals of what we want to do. We work hard when we don't have the ball. We press, and we obviously still use our wingers to as much as an advantage as we can. We do play slightly narrower now because, as you notice off of the tactics, we are playing an inside forward and an inside winger. So we are playing slightly narrower, but also at the same time, I'm trying to get these guys to still have that impact of having the ball out wide and then obviously putting balls in the box for G. But what I wanted to bring you back to show you is we are going to offer a contract to this guy. I think the fact that he could be a good Sky Bet League One player in the future as well is promising. He's only 24 years old. He's got very good stats, to be a centre-back within our squad and what we obviously want them to do. And if the youngster does go, then we have obviously that cover. Of course, we've got Rudy on the bench, but let's see what he wants money-wise. 1,600. Well, the max I can offer you is 1,300, and you're not going to get that. I'm going to go semi-negotiable on 1,000. We've only got 360 remaining in the wage budget. We have got some scouting budget that we could probably move over and get that up to probably around 600. So either way, we're going over our wage budget, right, by signing this player. Promotion wage rise, get that. You're not having that. Relegation release clause. Well, I'll put this lower because it's more favourable for him because we definitely aren't going to go down this season. I'm happy with that. A 2-year deal, that probably works for us. Appearance fee, maybe drop that down slightly. See what he comes back with. Oh, he wants a lot, doesn't he? Well, that you're definitely not getting that. And you're definitely not getting that. Promotion wage rise, I suppose we can put that in his contract. I don't think we're realistically going to expect to go up. And if we can get him at £1,000, it's not a horrendous amount to be paying what could be a star centre-back, right? That's what we have to think about here. We've got to go long-term future. If he's potentially got to be good enough to be a Sky Bet League One centre-back, I know it's going to take time for him to develop, but that's going to future-proof this position. Along with Darnell Johnson, it's going to be a solid back two in the centre-back positions. Let's do 1,525 then on the appearance, what he wants. I don't really want to pay him more than that. Perfect. So £1,000 a week, that's a bit annoying because it's still going to cost us 1.5k on the wage budget. But I think for £1,000 a week, I know obviously he's got them extras. Him coming in alongside Darnell Johnson, I think that's going to make us even more solid at the back. Not that we haven't been, right? We've been pretty solid, but any position that we can strengthen, and especially if we're going to lose that left back, Francis and then Rudy can share that left back / centre back position with having a little bit more rotation in the squad. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Scunthorpe game off camera, as I mentioned. Of course, if he does come back and obviously accepts the contract, I'll bring it back just to confirm. So I'll bring you back earlier than expected. 2 reasons. Declan Skahara has agreed and is potentially ready to join. We did just beat Scunthorpe 5-0 as well in that last game. So I should have just let you see in that, right? We should have just done a double header back-to-back and we see a 5-0 win. McEachran, Ruddy, Boswell, Birney and Clark getting on the score sheet. So a lot of the old guard there. I bring you back for the Altrincham game today. Reason why? They are actually top of the league. If we can go on and beat them, we've got one of the best defences in the league, so I've been told. So we've only conceded 6 goals all season. So yeah, we are one of the best. And Altrincham have scored the most goals. So it's best defence versus best attack. We're going to bring him in. I know we're going over the wage budget and a few of you might be thinking you're risking the finances of the club, and I may well be, but we need to make sure that we stay competitive in this league. In terms of the finances, I'm not going to lie, they're not a good picture. We're currently 118 grand in the red. So not great, and I am now using 108% of the wage budget. But with him coming in, it does mean there could be some outgoings. I think in terms of who I'm looking to maybe offload, maybe send Charlie Wiggett and Humphrey Ervers out on loan. But what that would mean is we don't have any backup here. But of course, don't forget, we do have that youngster as well, who's been playing in our under-21s, Alan Appleby, that could obviously come in as sort of a right back, centre back, very much last choice pick, which would, of course, then take the financial pressure away in terms of the wages by getting rid of Charlie Wiggett. And actually, now that I've just said that out loud, I am actually going to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer him via the transfer room. He is wanted by one club. Who's he wanted by? Hemel Hempstead. Well, let's offer it to them. I am going to want some money for him, though. Let's go for, he's worth up to 10k. Let's do him a little bit of a bargain. Let's do for 6k. Get a little bit of money back in the squad. It may be that, unfortunately, Humphrey Ervers is on his way out as well, but more probably as a loan. So, without any further ado, let's get straight into the game. We're not going to play him today. He's not going to start for us. What he is going to do is he is going to come and sit on the bench. I'm going to have it like that. Have him on the bench. We're not going to throw him right into the deep end, especially when we're playing top of the league. We want really all of our natural match-ready fit guys. So the youngster's going to come back in, Nicola Kifarili. I probably say that wrong every time, or different every time I say his name. But as you can see on the screen, this is our starting 11 for the game. Actually, we're going to have Mellor up front. I think I actually prefer having Mellor up front than I do having G. I think G's a good impact sub. So yeah, I'm going to go with that. The team pretty much picks itself already at this stage of the season, which is great for us. We know our strongest 11. So here's the team sheets. As you can see, unchanged 11 like we just said. I won't bother going through all of them specifically because, of course, it's pretty much exactly the same as you just saw. We are going to tell the players to just basically carry on from that last match. You know, a 5-0 win over Scunthorpe. Very convincing at this level and very much a precedent of our season. You know, we are beating the teams that we shouldn't necessarily be beating. So if all of that plays into today, we could be beating top of the league, who have scored the most goals, and hopefully we'll keep our defensive prowess in place, which I think has been definitely helped by having the likes of Pennington. Oh, look at that, Manny Alike, ball over the top. Clark gets onto it. I didn't think he was going to score, if I'm honest. I thought it was just going to be a nothing highlight sometimes that we see. But Pennington into Alike over the top. I mean, there was questions of that potentially being offside, but we'll take it. Clark just in behind and just does nicely to squeeze it between the goalkeeper and the centre-back. And that's what you want to see. 1-0 up in 3 minutes. We are taking the game to Altrincham, who are top of the league. And I couldn't be happier. That result actually moves us up to third. 22 points. I think realistically in this league, about 40 points is going to keep you safe. Of course, that's our first point objective, right? We want to get to the 40 points. No, we're not going to beat the drop. We're not going to get sucked into a relegation battle. And then we go on from there. The youngster's getting a little bit... I was going to say he was getting a little bit outdone there, but then does fantastically and recovers well. Corner in from them. Ooh, header just goes over the crossbar. So, again, they're coming close, but not close enough for us, which is good. I will show you sort of right statistics in a moment because he's come in and I thought Camus obviously done well for us, right, last season. He has been incredible for us. He's been very good, very consistent. If we concede, we usually concede a couple, right? But usually he's a very good standard of performer. And I think him with Pennington and potentially that other new centre-back that we've now signed, again, there's no reason why our defensive record can't continue to a lot later on in the season. We're going to praise the boys again. 1-0 up at the moment, 30 minutes played. And I think other than bringing that centre-back in, I wouldn't say there's much else we need to strengthen, really. Aliki's still doing the job, so I don't think there's any necessary need to replace him now. I feel like at the end of the season, it will be a little bit too far gone for him then at that point. Maybe we'll try and actually offer him a staffing role to obviously stay within the club because, of course, he's been with us for a couple of seasons now and he has got that experience behind him from when he used to play in the higher leagues as well. But 1-0 at half-time, I mean, we can't complain. We cannot complain. Now, I don't want to give them too much confidence because the game could obviously flip on its head. I'm just going to say we're doing well, but we can definitely find another gear to take it to that next level. Do we want to make any changes? We could bring G on, but yeah, we're going to bring G on for the striker. He's not been performing as well in this game. We're going to swap G to just an out-and-out centre forward. Other than that, I'm pretty much happy with that. I'm not going to change anything else. I don't think anyone's playing... The youngster's not playing great, but he's a youngster. He's allowed to have a few games off as long as it doesn't cost us any goals, but he's just not generally performing up to the level of everyone else. We'll take it. You know, he's on a 6.5. It's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not in the idea of the whole squad. He's only a couple of points behind Johnson, and you know how good he is for us. Johnson there, as we say it, just reads the danger, gets in, gets his foot in the ball and clears it. Aliki into Boswell. Boswell going to cross it? No, of course he's not. Pennington into Aliki. Boswell. Between themselves. Boswell. Ugh. The keeper, to be fair, does well to save that. But we're still knocking at the door. We've had 2 shots on target. So far, top goal scorers in the league, and we've restricted them to not even have a single shot on target as yet. They have hit the crossbar and they have hit the post that we've seen. But in terms of actual registered shots on target, they have had none. So we are frustrating them, which is good news for us indeed. And again, every point that we can pick up at home is good for us. If we can win our home games and then draw the majority of our away games, we will be safe. That's generally the golden rule. If you can make your home a fortress, you will typically do well in any league rather than just the National League, but especially as we've just come up and we're still finding our feet in this higher level of football. With 68 minutes played, we've got a corner here. McEachran brings the ball in. Clark picks up the loose ball, puts it back in. G's there. Oh, just can't get his head onto it. Tate Campbell brings it in. Surgeon run into the box. I love to see it. Aliki, lovely little pass into the youngster. What's he going to do? Calafiori passes it back. Oh, and the keeper just manages to make a save to deny McEachran. Again, usually it's not a game that we see unless McEachran gets on the score sheet, right? So it's a goal written in the stars for him. G's there. off of the cross from Clark, and he puts it into the back of the net of the header. So that is 2-0, 70 minutes played. You would potentially say that that is game done. I'm going to praise the boys again. Dangerous highlight for them here, though. Tate Campbell deals with it perfectly. I'm actually playing Campbell in a half-back role because it's something that he excels at. And most of the highlights that we see, even before he was playing as a half-back and playing as a defensive midfielder, he was always dropping in between Francis and Johnson to almost make it like a back five, but without officially playing it with a back five. And he's been exceptional on the overlap and covering and reading the danger. So that's definitely helped with regards to our defensive prowess that we've had this season so far. But 82 minutes played. I think we're going to make some changes. Again, we don't want to risk any injuries. We'll take Boswell off. Let's bring Birney on. Let's bring on the new centre-back. Give him a few minutes just to sort of find his feet. Rudy can come on for the left-back as well. I don't want to change. Don't want to change 4 of the 3 back 4, you know what I mean? Don't want to make too many changes. We'll bring a Leaky up as well, give him a little bit of a rest. We'll leave the other players on. McEachran's not too bad. The only other one is really Clark, but he'll be all right. He's young enough to be able to do it. Ashby tried an absolute cheeky curler there, but Ross had it red. Unfortunately for us, because that would have been definitely highlight Will worthy. Clark into Campbell, Pinnington, McEachran. What's he going to do with it? He cuts it back. Oh, Ashby hits the crossbar. Unlucky. Rudy, ball in for Clark. Clark's was more celebrating the near goal that we nearly had than anything else. Straight into the keeper's hands. But again, it shows the difference that we've got off the bench now. We've got other options that really add sort of different dynamics to the game. We don't just have to rely on Clark, Birney, Westendorf and McEachran like we had to last season. We've got sort of 4 or 5 players there that can all play in them roles. Maybe even 6 if you include Westendorf into that as well. D with a long effort, but of course goes soaring over the crossbar. But we'll take it. We're full of confidence. We're 2-0 up and we can't complain, and that's full time. So, a very good result. I'm pleased with the performance, but we need to move on. I think that's a bit harsh on the players. So I'm just going to say a good win and a good performance. That will do me. But in terms of what that does to the league, it puts us up to 5th. 12 games played, 6 games won, 4 games drawn, and 2 lost. But there we go, boys and girls. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. That new centre-back coming in, I'm quite excited with regards to that because, of course, we are already very defensively strong. That's just going to add to it even more. And the beauty is, if we do add him in and he doesn't really pair well with Johnson, we'll just use him as a backup and we'll play him in the cup competitions and I'll just have to deal with his complaints as it goes. I'm not risking the defensive solidity that we have at the minute just because he's meant to be the next star centre-back for the club. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below. How do you think the new centre-back's going to get on? And of course, where do you think the season is sort of projecting us to go? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well if you are new around here to continue watching the journey here. I'll see you in the next one.